Could the United States have its first female president this week? We will know in just a few days' time. Joining me live is former Obama campaign foreign policy advisor, David Tafuri. David, this polling is so tight.
It is. You know, if you're in America and you care that one candidate or the other wins, you feel very anxious right now because the polling nationally is very close. But more importantly, the polling in the swing states that will matter for their electoral college is also very close. And you look at Pennsylvania, it's within 1 point. Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, they're all extremely close. Both candidates, Harris and Trump, are campaigning in North Carolina today. North Carolina should be a state that's easier for Trump to win. So the fact that he's there may be a sign that his campaign thinks he's in trouble in North Carolina. But anyone who tells you they know who's going to win on Tuesday is probably not telling you the truth. It's just too hard to tell based on the polling.
We had our reporter Pete Stefanovic at the top of the hour telling us how close Georgia will be again. It was so close last time, and it looks like it's going to be going the same way.
Yes, Georgia will be very close. You know, Georgia traditionally was a red state, so a state that we thought Trump would win. But in 2020, Biden won that state. And also in 2022, the Senate candidate won in that state for the Democrats as well. So Georgia is trending towards the Democrats, but the polling shows it's very close. Personally, I think that Georgia will come out in favor of Harris, but again, very, very close there.
What about what happened at Madison Square Garden? Reading many articles and listening to podcasts and others like a lot of us do, it seems that many of the Trump advisors were saying don't go to Madison Square Garden to him, but is there something that he wanted to do? If he doesn't win this week, do you think a little bit will be apportioned to what happened at Madison Square Garden?
So I watched a lot of that rally at Madison Square Garden, and parts of it were just simply appalling. It was Trump, the showman, leading a circus, not Trump, the past president. And he didn't look like a presidential figure. There wasn't a lot of talk about policy or how he's going to help Americans. It was a divisive rally. It was targeting minorities. It was targeting other populations. There were off-color jokes and attacks on Democratic candidates. And so it didn't look good for him. It didn't make him look presidential. There were also these has-been celebrities, people who delve in conspiracies like Tucker Carlson. There was Hulk Hogan, a former professional wrestler. So not the thing that you normally see in a political rally so close to Election Day. I guess he wanted to do that because he wanted to attract press. But unfortunately for Trump, he attracted a lot of bad press. Unfortunately
for the Democrats, for your side of things, it wasn't long after that Joe Biden really put his foot in it.
Yeah, you know, he made this comment about the supporters of Trump being garbage, and it's probably not something he should not have said, and it's not helpful to Harris, but that is what it is. I don't think that's going to make a big difference in this campaign.
All right, what about the state of the economy? How does that play? Because out here in Australia, and look, this is replicated through the world, cost of living, interest rates up, all the things that mean a lot to people who just want to get by. Where will that sit in this election? Because it's sort of been pushed down the rung a bit, hasn't it? It's been about a lot of other issues.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues at play, but certainly the economy and inflation are very important issues, and it is an issue that Americans care a lot about, and a lot of Americans have suffered because of inflation. We have to accept that and understand that and appreciate that. As you mentioned, inflation is not a trend that's particular to America. We had worldwide inflation after COVID, and actually it's under control in America. It's the lowest it's been in 3 years under President Biden. So perhaps people who care about election and we're going to vote on that on Tuesday are maybe a little bit less influenced by it. Also, the economy is strong. You know, our GDP is up. Our economy is growing. Unemployment is very low. So while people are hurting and they feel that when they go to the grocery store, when they buy household items, the economy itself is pretty strong and there aren't a lot of people unemployed. So it can play both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Nate Silver, who's a bit of an oracle when it comes to the polling area, a lot of people look to what data he is pumping out on social media. He had Donald Trump with a lot of momentum the last week and a half, and he has said over the past few days this has narrowed, and it's a really interesting graph, the last graph that he's put up, where you've got the two of them converging on each other.
Yeah, well, he does a good job because he averages a number of different polls. And so a lot of people rely upon him and trust him. He has basically said, if you're looking at the polls, as I said at the beginning of this interview, you really can't tell who the winner is going to be. It's just too close. I think he's also said very recently that his instinct tells him that Trump is going to win, but he's really going on instinct, not on data when he says that.
Yeah, David, good to chat. It's going to be an interesting few days. I don't think we've seen an election quite like it.
That's right. Thank you.